Hello from Geneva. What an honor to appear in the Gala show of the South African National Magic Convention, hosted by the CMC. And to the President, Wayne Abrahamse, hi, trust you are well, and to everyone in South Africa, yep, here I am in Geneva. We've been living here for quite a while now. We have the Jet d'Eau behind us, and it's a clear day. You can even see the Mont Blanc right in the background over there, something that you don't see often. And I thought, rather than go into my study and try and do tricks off the computer camera, why not take a wonderful trip around Geneva, show you a bit of the city, and do one or two tricks around like that. Makes it a bit different, yeah? So let's start straight away. You know, if you look at Geneva and you look at Switzerland, what comes to mind first? Finances. Besides the Alps, money. Yeah, and especially here in Geneva, I mean, really old city, a lot of money, and all sorts of interesting investments. And it kind of reminded me of something to do with old Chinese coins. These are old Chinese palace coins. Now, this trick is based on the ancient art of cheating. Right, there we go. 4 of them like this. And what I'm going to do, very easy, I'm just going to take one, and you can clearly see there's the one, and I'm going to put it into my pocket. And the question is, how many do I have left in my hand? This kind of reminds me of another trick I've seen. In fact, if I go through there, I don't know if I've shown you this trick. It's a trick with 4 Chinese palace coins. Yeah, I get the feeling I've done this before. Yeah, 4, you can see on both sides. So let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. It's very easy. You just take one like it. You can clearly see that coin. Put it into the pocket, and what happens, of course, there's just, I don't know if I've shown you this trick using these 4 Chinese coins. You know, in fact, I've got a Chinese friend. I went to him for some acupuncture. Got back, my voodoo doll was dead. I'm going to do this one more time. And I thought this was a good trick to open with. The reason being that Geneva is the French part of Switzerland. And in French, you have a word called déjà vu, which means you have the feeling you've been somewhere before. Is that the case, or does your brain just switch off for 100th of a second? Well, that is the big question. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 coins like that. You just take one of those Chinese coins and you place it into your pocket, and it's really interesting because I don't know if I've shown you this trick before with these 4 Chinese coins. You get the feeling I have, don't you? Huh? It's almost like a 6-card repeat, just with 4 big coins. One more time for you. You can clearly see there they are. Yeah. So here goes. I learned this from a very well-known Chinese magician friend of mine. You all know his name, Fu Ling Yu. So we take that one there, you see on both sides, place it into the pocket, and have I done my déjà vu joke before? I'm not sure. Because you see, I have this trick that uses 4 Chinese coins. Imagine we could just work like this with our investments. Wouldn't that be just absolutely awesome? And I thought it's quite apt to do stuff with money around Geneva and Switzerland. So I trust you haven't seen this one before. And I'm just going to walk to another area, show you another few sites around the city, and do something else. So just follow me. And would you look at that? I've changed formal wear, huh? T-shirt, formal wear, novel. In fact, walking here, one of the ladies came over and said to me, "You're a looker." Well, that's not the word she used. She used the word voyeur. That's a joke. So they say that Geneva is one of the most expensive cities in the world. Yeah, that's true. And let's stick to the money magic. And I thought, well, besides making money disappear, well, that's easy to do in Geneva, let's make some appear, and let me stop talking. Let me actually just do some nice Swiss music for you. Here goes. my money keeps on disappearing. It appears, but it disappears as well. I'm going to disappear off to the next cool area here in Geneva. Welcome to, you won't believe it, CERN. If you don't know what CERN is, this is where they smash particles together to understand the Big Bang Theory. This is where they have the Large Hadron Collider. It's 100 meters underground, 27 kilometers in diameter. Half is in France, half is here in Switzerland. It's amazing. And even more so, this is where the World Wide Web originated. And before I even carry on and show you the trick I want to show you, when I got to Geneva, I looked up the magicians, and they have a magic club, Le Club de Magiciens de Genève. And I met some wonderful magicians, and believe me, when they made me a member, which was a surprise, non-member, there was the ceremony, I am speechless.
Es ist für den Genfer Zauberclub eine Riesenehre, ein paar Worte nach Südafrika zu senden. Wir wünschen euch viel Erfolg für euer Symposium und vor allem eine gute Gesundheit an jeden Zauberer und dessen Familie. Tschüss.
Hi, the Geneva Magic Club is proud to send you our most magical socks. We also would like to wish you a great convention, but most importantly, stay healthy.
Bonjour, c'est un honneur pour le Club des Magiciens de Genève d'envoyer quelques mots en Afrique du Sud. Nous vous souhaitons le meilleur congrès possible, mais surtout une très bonne santé pour tous les magiciens et leurs familles.
Greetings from Switzerland.
Merci beaucoup. I really appreciate the brotherhood of the magicians. It's amazing how worldwide we have such a great bunch of people in this art. I saw this wonderful trick and asked Hervé where I could get some perspex, and then he kindly made me this board. It's called the grey zone. It's pretty much grey, like the question, how come no one's disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle lately? But I believe that all the politicians have one of these, because what happens with this, it's very interesting. If you put your hand in there, you see that's where they hide all, a Bitcoin as well, yeah. So that's where they hide all their money. Love this. And as I said to you earlier on, CERN is where they invented the World Wide Web, and that's about the closest symbol I can get to that. And this is what's so interesting about the grey zone, is that if I were to put my world into there like this, you see, now take my hand out, it disappears. And that's the part which is really kind of freaky. And when you put your hand in again, it's there again. Isn't it amazing? But a lot of people think it's when you put the ball in, and what they don't realize, it's when you take the hand out that it disappears like that. And you can see there's absolutely nothing there like this. They're absolutely gone. And all you do is just put your hand in there, and there you have. It still puzzles me. And I thought CERN is the ultimate place to demonstrate this to you. I'm going to do one more trick with you. For money, I've got to do one thing in the office, and if I'm going to do anything with paper money, the wind is going to be a problem. So just come with me home. I'm going to show you something there, and then from there I'm going to take you to another awesome place here in Geneva. So, I don't like using credit cards, because the last time I got a credit card bill from the bank, it was so high that before I opened the envelope, I heard a drum roll. And that made me decide work with cash only. And of course, being in Switzerland, a wealthy country, and many secret organizations around, I thought I'll join a magical organization, improve my magical skills. Because isn't the one dream of being a magician being able to change paper to money? Being able to fill your wallet with money the whole time? So what I did is I got a few papers, and of course you need those to create money. And all you do, I just collect these papers, and you can see in fact that they are like, I don't know if you can see that there's a watermark, but special paper. So what you do is you take your wallet
like this. You open it up and you can see I've got a Swiss franc, a 20 Swiss franc note. We don't want to get too greedy, not too big a note, and just place it in there, and you take one of the pieces of paper like this, and you just close it like that, and that's how you now suddenly create your 20 to 20s like it. You double them. It's awesome. In fact, I like that. I'm going to do this again. So you just place this one there like this, and you just close the wallet, open it like this. This is like really cool. This is magical. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm not going to stop now. In fact, that's what I do the whole day. No one ever sees me. I'm forever just putting paper in there like that, just doing this, and there I've got my money. That's absolutely awesome when that happens, huh? Okay, look, I'm getting too excited. Why not? Why just do 20s? Let's just maybe increase this. If I just take some other sheets, let's say like 2, and I place one there and I place one here, so 2 of them like that. Maybe if we just do this and, oh, look at that, great. I've now got a 50, and these extra secret lessons have been paying off. This is really cool. I'm going to go shopping.
Part of living in Geneva is, of course, having these interesting international organizations like the United Nations behind me. And this chair is really interesting because you see there's one leg missing. It's a sculpture that was put up in '97, and the reason for the leg missing is a subtle message to governments around the world to promote the end of landmine use. So it's a very special place, this city. And one thing about a gala night is normally, if it's live, we have awards and people are speaking between the acts, and I'd like to, if I may, just take this opportunity to say a few words of thanks. Because I find that as magicians, do we really thank our colleagues for what they've done and how they've influenced us? You see my new book that's come out, the autobiography. I want to give you a bit of background. Last year I sat with Robin Boltman redoing his autobiography, and he actually talked me into doing my own one. I never saw a reason for doing it, and I was so grateful that just before his passing I'd pretty much finished most of it, and he was still able to read the book, and especially the chapter where I gave thanks to South African magicians and him especially for the inspiration he's been in my life. And I just think that, you know, as a TV person, you influence a lot of people you don't know about. But as a magician, do we know who we actually influence within our fraternity? And for me, when I started back in Port Elizabeth, Mark Rose Christie was the guy I used to look up to and watch him rehearse. He was the real drive and inspiration for me becoming a professional magician. And I remember when I turned pro, I was about 19, and I did my first ice show, magic and ice skating in Durban. And I stayed with Ricky Gray, and Ricky and Roddy back then were the Siegfried and Roy of South Africa. And I was so in awe, and I still remember them packing their illusions on the little Volkswagen Kombi bakkie. You inspired me in how much I've always looked up to you, and I want to say thanks for that to you as well. And around about the same time, it was interesting, they just started with the hypermarkets in South Africa. And I was doing a show at the Brackenfell hypermarket, and there was some act before me, I didn't know who it was, and I just walk out of the center manager's office, and here this guy runs in to the middle area of the hypermarket going, "Ek is hier, ek is here." For the non-Afrikaans, "I'm here, I'm here." And I'm like, who's this madman? And it was Colin Underwood. And I stood there in awe of the absolute confidence that you gave out, Colin. I remember in Covent Gardens when I started in the UK and was busking, thinking back of how you handled the crowd and how awesome you were, gave me the inspiration to go out and also make a success. So you don't sometimes realize the influence you have on someone's life. And of course there's so many magicians, now I've spoken about them, I speak about them in my autobiography, which is going to be now launched in South Africa before it goes on to Amazon. So Richard Loubser, who I mentored and I'm very proud of, will be handling that side of things. Now, if I think back of my career, every important decision was influenced by a magician. Everything that happened in my life, a magician had to do with it. And I think back of my brother from another mother, Chris Welsh, all the awesome times we've had. Ek waardeer regtig jou inspirasie, my broer. And I want to just say something that I don't think gets said enough. Back in the late 80s or early 80s, I still remember somebody started something, and I always like to think that myself that's written a lot of books and created a lot of tricks has been a big influence in the international market for South African magic. But to David Gore and what you've done with the College of Magic, the amount of youngsters you've inspired, the amount of stars you've created in South Africa, I personally want to say a big thank you to you and Marion for the selfless sacrifice and for the passion and dedication you've brought throughout your whole lives to put the face of magic, the South African face of magic, on the international map and helping all those youngsters. So a big thank you to you. And as I say that, I know Gippie, jy kyk op die oomblik ook en jy dink gaan hy oor my praat. About a week ago, because I speak to a lot of guys, I had a phone call with Gippie. He was trying to define me and what I do. And I don't know if you had a few happe in or not, but he said to me, jy weet Wolfgang, jy is 'n ou wat die kakste triek vat en jy maak geld uit dit uit. Dankie vir daai my broer. And you know what, it's so true what you say. Because I've taken the simple stuff and I've created something special out of it. And I always think of every trick that I see. When I was a youngster, when I saw it, how did I feel? What was the reaction? And back then when I started, when Ronaldo's magic studio was still going, one of the first tricks I bought was the rope with 4 ends. And dis die tipe kaktricks wat ek vat en ek maak geld uit dit uit, Gippie, net vir jou. But you know, it's about taking something simple and creating magic with it. And part of my secret was bringing messages through with the magic. Not just being a magician, being a lot more, being an entertainer, being somebody that shares special messages with others. Let's take a rope, let's take humanity in general. How do we see each other? Do we realize that we all have different views? We've all grown up in different places. It's like this piece of rope. If I ask you how many ends does it have, what would you say? Most people say it's got 2 ends. Of course, being a magician, I say it's got 1 end, the beginning and the end. But you know what? If it can have 1 end or 2 ends, surely it could actually, if we wanted to, have 3 ends. I know, yeah, it's pretty wicked, huh? Because there's going to be somebody that's going to see something completely different from you and me. And if it can have 3 ends, there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to have 4 ends. And I mean, that's pretty wicked, 2 ends on each end. That just doesn't make sense at all. You know, standing here at the United Nations, I was thinking, you know, the other day, with all those flags of all the countries, I made a Belgium waffle. And my goal is next week, I want to make a Swiss laugh. So anyway, 4 ends, right? So if it's got 4 ends, surely it could have, we could have 2 pieces of rope like this, because there are 2 ropes. But if we have 2 ropes, that's not what I wanted. I actually wanted to bring across one universal message. And that universal message was, with magic, a matter of 1, 2, 3, we can bring people together and highlight the specialness between all of us. And that's the kind of stuff where I like taking those tricks that you find in your cupboard and really creating magic with them. But okay, enough. I've done stuff to camera. I didn't want to do anything in my office, just with the computer camera. I trust you've enjoyed the little trip around Geneva. And I always believe that the true test of a performer is actually to see them live. And I want to share with you as my last trick, one of the last live performances I did in the Artscape. I was always a big supporter of the World AIDS Day concerts, and I had such fun, and there's nothing like performing live with a few thousand people around you. One of my favorite routines. Enjoy that, and thank you so much for the opportunity of appearing on the Gala show at the South African National Magic Convention. Enjoy this last insert. Thank you.
Right, I'd very much like to involve the audience in an experiment that I want to do with you. And whatever I do, you're going to say I had a shill, which is a plant, or I pre-planned it with someone in the audience. So what I've got to do is convince you that this is purely random. I have one of these old desk calendars. I thought, what the heck, I can tear it up. December's nearly over as well anyway. You know, so I'm going to, oops, let's just get rid of that as well. I'm going to roll this up into a little board like this. And I'm going to just throw it into the audience. I would love one of you to catch it. Sorry if I wake anyone. Okay? And we'll have to have the lights up for this. So I'm going to throw it to somebody. The person that catches it can then throw it to a second person, any direction in the audience. That person, lastly, in turn, throws it to a third person. So the third person in this audience to catch this ball, I have no control over. Would you be in agreement with this? Hell, you can't get more complex than that, right? Okay, right. So over my back, excuse my back, excuse my front. Anyway, okay. That was hier grappie, nee. Right, okay, right. So here we go. Whoever catches it, right, okay, there we go, right. And the second time to anybody, any direction, and then third time anywhere else. Don't fight over it. Okay, right, that's it. So who has ever got it? A lady over there has got it. Just say yes or no. What I want you to do is I want you to think of any number between 34 and 100. Just think of a number between 34 and 100. Are you happy with that? So are you happy that we've never met before? Yes? Have we ever met before? I'm not talking, are you a ventriloquist? A dummy just spoke over here. Praat nie met jou. Who's that? I will start again. The lady there, have we ever met before? No. Then how do you know it's me? Never mind. Okay, right. So what I have here, I've taken the liberty of drawing on this side 16 squares. I also have a portable handheld communications inscriber. A pen for short. Okay. It's a permanent marker. I know it says so on here. Oh no, it's rubbed off. Okay, right. Now let's recap. Nee, I can only stupid grappen maak. Okay. You could have chosen anyone in the audience. We chose you. You have a number between 34 and 100 in your mind. I've got 16 blocks here. By the way, that reminds me, do you know how you play Iraqi bingo? B52, F12. Oppa, don't be naughty. Right. Okay. Now you're going to have to be loud on this. When I ask you to, you shout as loud as you can and clearly the number that you were thinking of between 34 and 100. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. 15. Sorry? 15. Okay, wacht. Ek gaan nou iemand kies wat nou afliek. Yes. Do you know that this is not rehearsed, huh? I'll give you a second chance. Do you really believe me? It's a genuine number now. Okay, in all fairness, okay. Is die Afrikaans? Een nummer tussen 34 en 100. Right, okay. Kann es auch auf Deutsch machen? Eine Nummer zwischen 34 und 100, ja? Okay. Parlare italiano, hablan ustedes español, parlez français, or whatever. Okay, right, okay, here goes, right. Between 34 and 100, here goes. 1, 2, 3. I didn't hear you. 39. You said any number, you said 39. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some numbers over here while I'm talking to you. And I want you to bear in mind, I'm doing this as I'm talking to you, which makes the whole thing actually a heck of a lot more difficult. Over there, and there. Do you agree that took me like about 8 seconds? Okay, to do. We've never met before. You could have said any number, you said 39. If we add the top row up horizontally, don't get ahead of me, sir. 7 and 12 is 19, 1 is 20, and 19 is 39, your number. The second row, 11, 8 is 19, 2 is 21, and 18 is 39, your number. The third row, 5 and 10 is 15, 18, 21 is 39, your number. This one, 4 and 20, 24, 30, 39. Now, wait. I have a weak ending. Keep it for the end. If we, just because you wanted to, we'll do it vertically. 4 and 5 is 9, 11, 20, 19, 39. 1, 8, 9, 19, 39. That way, 6 and 3, 9, 21, 39. 9, 2, 39. If that doesn't play, diagonally. Okay? 9 and 3 is 12, 8, 20, 19, 39. Here, 4 and 10, 14, 21, 39. Because you started clapping the 4 in the middle. Look, 10 and 8 is 18, 21, 39. The numbers in each corner. 4, 9 is 37, 20, 39. Each quarter, look, 4, 5, 9, 19, 39. That. Now you can clap. How did I do this? Extremely well. There's a reason I showed it to you. Because if you believe in yourself, you can move mountains. You can achieve anything in life. And all of us can really fight this HIV virus, and we can do something about it. Just believe in yourself.